Teacher researchers in second language acquisition.
Finally, we have some suggestions for potential researchers to open up research possibilities. First one is sociolinguistic is a discipline that studies the different aspects of society that influence the use of a language, such as cultural norms and the context in which speakers develops. Sociolinguistic deals with a language as a system of science in social contexts. Due to the sociolinguistic, it is essential to focus on the study of a possible interculturalization of a native speaker with a speaker who is in the process of acquiring a language. It could include the technique mentor-apprentice of revitalization. And finally, cognitive processes are what knowledge and interactions with our surroundings. They include memory, language, perceptions, thought, and attention. These processes are linked to the educational psychology and cognitive psychology. Social language globalization focuses on how acculturation and nativization play an important role in the psyche of an individual towards the process of acquiring a second language in order to expect health individual with identity.
Second language acquisition theory is important when teaching since it allows us to recognize and understand some phenomena that are always present in the students' learning processes. Considering that we are teachers, or at least we are approaching it, it is necessary to understand the importance of these theories. First, second language acquisition oriented on children taught us that a single skill is not enough to teach or even acquire a second language. All skills are important, and each person has a unique learning experience. Second, the discourse theory, which focused on acquisition and immersion, taught us that communication is treated as the matrix of linguistic knowledge. Thus, the learner acquires formulas and later analyzes these into their component parts. Third, connectionism focuses on the relation between our skills and the world, and it tells us that connectionism is all about an active learning process as a result of a constant stimulus-response process which is always happening in our brains. Basically, we are all the time exposed to stimuli that give us some little information which help us to develop our mental skills. Fourth, sociocultural theory taught us that the language, verbal and nonverbal, is a tool of mediation that is able to link two individuals in order to achieve a goal through cooperative learning.
On teacher training, the class process and theories seen in this subject, other than explain views on language acquisition, contributed to different positions and activities of teaching, which for us as teacher researchers soak up in the many techniques of language teaching and learning, proving them and stating their functionality in a class environment, not only for the development of the class and investigation projects, but also our tutoring process in the future.
During the first and second language acquisition sessions, the first and second lines of research proposed by the bachelor's program were taken into account, being the first one the relation between didactic and pedagogy, especially didactics in English language, which was tackled through discussions that led us to implement didactics tools as a basis for the small research cases. Also, the second branch of research, which is representative discourses in the educational context, was studied through theories that create social and linguistic images about the acquisition of a language, that, consequently, are being used in the educational context in Colombia.
Conclusion about the channel. We consider the channel as an innovative tool that allows the easier sharing of knowledge, as well as in a more dynamic way. In this specific case, we focus on second language acquisition theories, and it is especially addressed at those people who, like us, want to be teacher researchers and wish to investigate or learn these topics in a more concrete way.
Fifth, translanguaging refers to the use of two or more languages in a class, which allows to reinforce the mother tongue and the second language at the same time. Given that, translanguaging is an important factor when teaching because it helps to increase the inclusion, participation, and understanding in the second language learning process. Sixth, Error analysis theory explains the systematic variations or errors generated when learning a second language, which is important when determining the student's language competence. Seventh, when talking about learning a second language, it is important to take into account the emotional factor in order to guarantee an effective and comfortable learning. For example, cooperative work encourages children to reinforce their previous knowledge and internalize the new one. The understanding of the language is complex, and there are plenty of things to take into account. There is not a unique answer, and there will never be. Therefore, as teachers, we have to try to adapt or not less than understand each student's learning process and create strategies to guarantee a proper learning and teaching process.